Hey guys, it's Kimberly and happy holidays. I hope everyone's having a nice December. I am coming back to you to create a video for the full moon energy. So this is going to be a collective reading for twin flames and those along this ascension journey that are looking for energy update in the collective at this time. So I'm actually making this video on December 10th. And just to update you guys, I was out down for the count with the flu. I had been hospitalized and caught the flu in the hospital. Luckily, I was able to overcome it all on my own, nursing myself at home, not taking any medicines. You might hear me cough. I'm really sorry if I have to. But other than that, I made it through the worst part of it. So I'm back to doing readings, and I'm happy to be bringing you this video. Those of you who are still interested in getting your 2020 prediction forecast, there's only 10 days left to book that. You can book it, for later in December or even January, but it's only going to be up on my website until December 20th. So you have like 10 days to book that. If you guys don't want to do an actual session for that, I'm happy to video those your forecast so I can video it and message it over to you or email it over to you. It's totally up to you how you want to do it. Normally my sessions are live, but that one I'm willing to create a video and send it over to you. What else do I have to tell you? Let's see. There's still time to sign up for the January 11th weekend, which is the transformational weekend for coaches. It's a training for coaches and healers and anyone on this path. It's really going to be a great training for 2020. And I'm still doing my 1-2 free special, which is basically an intuitive guidance session, a soul coaching session, and you get access to all my online courses. And several of you have been taking advantage of that. Again, sorry if I had to move anyone around because I was sick this past week, but I should be back in full swing now here shortly. So if you guys want to donate to my cancer cause, don't forget, I still need your help. And my donation button I'll put is on the website, spiritualmaterialgirl.com, or you can click, there's actually a donation button right on the channel art on YouTube as well, or I'll put the links below. All right, thank you guys. Okay, so I'm going to use several decks here. I'm not going to give you like an overview. I just want to see what comes through the cards, okay? So we're going to use 2 tarot decks, the Rider-Waite and the Star Child Tarot. And I am going to pull, they're showing me or telling me, from masculine and feminine energies. Whoop. Okay, so they're showing me to overlap these decks, which I don't always do, but they want me to do that, so. Whoa, oh my goodness. Okay. Gonna space these out so we can see them like this. Okay, can you guys see that? I hope. I'm going to move the camera a little bit just so you can see it better. Okay, so this side is the masculine and this is the feminine over here, and these are kind of like the combined energies. Now remember, when I talk about the masculine and feminine, it doesn't necessarily mean, you know, male, female. It's talking about the masculine and feminine within you, those both of those sides within one person, and or it could be talking about those of you who carry the dominant expression of that polarity. So this to me feels a lot like this Gemini full moon that we're going to be experiencing around the 12th of December. So this full moon has a triple conjunction. So I think it's Saturn, Pluto, and Venus are conjunct. And there's different aspects of this full moon that are, for some of you, bringing crises to a head. So there might be certain situations that you've looked away from or you've not wanted to deal with completely. It was easier to not face it or to not find a new solution. And they're saying with this full moon, you will have no choice but to face it. There's going to be a decision. It might not be an easy decision for some of you, but you're going to have a decision to make. And this is why this is the Pisces card. And I feel like there's that duality, like that Gemini duality. And we're seeing the moon in reverse here. So there's a decision, there's a decision to be had. There's also this sort of darkness that surrounds it. You know, there's this, it's sort of do or die for some of you. There's some things that you need to face that you haven't been facing. And there's this, it looks like a crisis of some sort. So either some aspect of your current situation is pulling you to your knees so that you make a decision to push things forward in a new direction. Or you're going to be faced with some sort of a crisis unraveling that's going to force you to make a choice. So I'm getting this message around choice or decision, and that being really important. And they're saying it's up to you. It's kind of one of those things that they just keep saying it's like do or die. You have to kind of confront something now. See, and I'm getting union around this. So this is a split. This is a duality. And they're saying in order to resolve this duality, this could be that you're thinking one way and you're acting another. It could be that you're living out of your integrity. It could be that I feel like there's a contradiction here. So there's some situation in which you're contradicting yourself or you're living out of integrity. And they're saying you need to pull that into union from within for the masculine or the masculine side of yourself. So this is the part of you that's going to take action, and they want you to come into union with yourself. That means merging perspectives. So I feel like perspective is going to be a big piece of this. Merging perspectives, unifying from within, cleaning up your energy field, making it one, making it unison rather than contradictory or there being a duality. Okay? So that's going to be important. And for some of you, like I said, there'll be an unraveling. There'll be some sort of what appears to be like a crisis or unraveling, but it'll be good because it's going to pull you into oneness. It's going to dissolve that duality. Okay? All right, so we're going to leave that there. And on the feminine side, we have the 5 of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. So to me, this is saying something's completing karmically for the feminine or the feminine aspect of yourself. This is where you're tying up final karma. This is like the rest of the karma that needs to be tied up probably for the year is coming to fruition around this time, or just before the eclipses, or maybe this full moon pulls us into that tie up of this karma during the eclipses. And I feel like you're able to leave something behind and turn towards the new direction. Let's get a clarifier on that. Yep, here we go. Present. So this is about, meditating, breathing, finding your presence in the now. When we see the Five of Cups, this tends to be that tendency to look back, to not be able to face the new direction because we're stuck on the past, or stuck on what's happened. This to me is saying that the karma is going to free us to look towards a new direction, and all we have to do is just be present with what's happening. See the gifts for what it is, see what's tying up for us. Trust in things that are tying up, or this doesn't necessarily just mean that you're tying up like relationships or karmic relationships. This could be that you're tying up certain karma, certain ways that you've been doing things or approaching things, and now you're finding a new way of approaching things. And this to me feels like it goes hand in hand with the masculine energy. Okay, so that's like almost like resolving the duality and coming into union. So there's a conflicting energy over here. And over here, there's this tendency to look at the past, and they want you to be present and trust in what's tying up, and trust in the new approach and the new direction. Let's pull a couple of moon cards to clarify for the masculine and feminine before we go to the combined energy. Okay, so one just popped out. I'm just going to oops, sorry guys, I gotta just reach down and get it. So it's boundaries. So somewhere in this conflict, crisis type situation, you're going to have to set some really clear boundaries. And in order to do that, you've got to be in union with yourself. This is about, knowing what you desire, knowing what you want. This is about, like I said, like lining up with your integrity. Your action has to line up with your inner knowing of what's right for you and with your worth. And this is how we set healthy boundaries, right? It's got to happen from within first, that lining up, that alignment from within. So I think that setting these boundaries in this sort of situation is going to be very healthy for you. They're just saying, like, clean up this energy, clean it up. There's a duality, clean it up. You're not walking in alignment with your integrity. It's time to bring things to a head. It's time to lay down the gauntlet. It's time to they're just showing me very clearly, like, it's time to bring a situation to a head, because doing things the way you've been doing it isn't working. It's just creating more of a duality in your energy field. And in order to really move forward and excel in 2020, you're going to have to resolve this now, okay? So a lot of you, this is a push forward, even though it'll come in a little bit of a form of crises. Feminine is purify. So, I feel like this is purifying, whatever karma's tying up. This is, where we've been ugly, where we've been angry, where we've carried karma forward, where we've repeated our patterns, where we've been stuck on the past. They're saying meditate, breathe, be present, purify, get ready for the new. This is, and look at these colors too. They're so in sync. So this is just saying like it's time to purify, especially what's happened in the past, so that we can be present and we can look to the future. Okay? So the combined energies here, 5 of Swords, we've got the 9 of Pentacles, the Magician in reverse, and the 7 of Swords upright. So let's talk about these energies, because this is sort of like the crowning energy and what's below it. So I feel like there's a lot of potential here, right? Okay, so you've got the potential to create more abundance and to really step into your manifestation abilities, but there's things that are sort of stopping or blocking us, and or that have been blocking us. And I think that this to me signifies a letting go of resentment. It feels like there's this resentment type energy that needs to be released. And it might not be related to or even correlating with your stream of income or career. So this is where it's going to throw some of you off. And the reason why is because, you know, what happens in our energy field affects all areas of our life. So if you're carrying tension or resistance in one area and you're like, I don't know why that other area is blocked, well, that's why, because everything is one. So again, this feels similar to this message around cleaning up your energy field, but I feel like this pertains like very, very specifically to resentments. And they're saying letting go of the resentments is going to help free you to welcome in more flow and abundance, and to also stay in your power. Get in your power, stay in your power. So think about what those resentments might be. Someone's done you wrong recently. Someone didn't show up for you. You don't feel supported. You feel, maybe these are patterns. Maybe this is something that you thought you cleared, but then it showed up again recently. This is where we need to get present, breathe through this, release it. And so that we can come back fully into our own power. And this is telling me that that power to manifest the future and everything we want to create, it's only being blocked by that feeling of someone tricking or deceiving us or not being totally authentic. This feels recent to me. So whether these are patterns that have reoccurred throughout your life, they may be. But this is something to me that's happened over the past maybe 3 or 4 months, maybe even closer, sooner. Something in which you felt not, like the truth wasn't presented all the way, the situation wasn't handled all the right way, you weren't respected. This could be with a romantic relationship, friendship, familial relationship, anything like that, work relationship. And it's that resentment that's blocking this abundance and this manifestation. So let's get some clarity on that. How do we let go of resentment? So resentment is when we, a lot of the resentment is, it holds anger. Anger is powerlessness. Resentment is this feeling of, well, I can't trust again, or I can't trust that person. I can't trust that not to happen again. And a lot of this lies within trusting ourselves. A lot of healing resentment goes to looking at where we didn't set the boundary, where we weren't in our power, where we weren't trusting ourselves or weren't trusting our own intuition. And so a lot of releasing resentment isn't really about the other person. It ends up really being about us. So think about that. So this is commitment, and it's coming up in reverse. So again, this is where someone was disloyal to us. This is where someone wasn't loyal, truthful, committed. This is where we were maybe not committed to ourselves all the way in a particular situation. So this is what we need to clean up. This loyalty, dedication to ourselves. So how can we be more loyal, dedicated to ourselves? A lot of you say like, oh, I thought I already was being that, or I am. I give myself self-love. Commitment is about alignment. It's about backing up energetically what you stand for. It's about knowing your worth and your values and your morals and lining up with it. And then not wavering with that. That's commitment. So if you expect another to treat you with the type of respect that you deserve, you must treat yourself with that respect. You must line up with your integrity. So I think that's a huge part of this, of resolving this, where we're out of our power, where we're not able to release these resentments. It's about getting more committed from within. Stop kind of blaming the other person, the one who was disloyal or the one who, wasn't as devoted or committed as you wanted them to be. Look from within at maybe how you can clean that energy up to attract in more loyal, committed relationships and people and situations. Okay, let's pull a moon card for the combined energies. Okay, so it's the psychic. We have the peacemaker on the bottom of the deck and 2 of Pentacles, which is sort of like balance, peace, balance, harmony. All right, so let's talk about the psychic. So this is about you having not listened to yourself. This is what I'm talking about. That resentment is from within you. This is where you weren't listening to your own psychic knowing, your own inner knowing. Maybe you feel like a fool. Maybe you feel like, I knew that. I should have known that. And they're saying you must forgive yourself to release that. And then make the new commitment to yourself, where this is also a commitment to your psychic gifts and to your inner knowing. This is where we must be devoted to that intuition. That's not made up, you guys. That's your internal compass. So that's important. And I love that overall, we're working on balance here, right? And that's balance, merging these energies, cleaning up energies to find our footing, purifying, recommitting. I really feel like this is cleaning up energies, stale energies of the past, and to find our footing moving forward. And you can see the Peacemaker card has the scales of balance in it. Okay, so again, this is the overall message, is we are trying to balance during this time. So any crisis that comes to a head, any ways that we need to set boundaries, recommit, purify, and move forward, this is all helping us find our balance. It's where I feel like the foundation has been shook in the past, and we're not going to let that affect us as we go forward into a new year. The bottom of this deck is the 2 of Cups in reverse. So this is also saying that some of this energy is maybe standing in the way of romantic partnerships or unions that have the potential to come together. And as I've been saying, if you guys read my forecast for December, I've been feeling like a lot of twins are going to have these rendezvous. Some of you are going to meet your real twin flame over the next few months, but some of you are going to have these really intense, emotional, romantic, passionate, emotionally intense physically intense rendezvous or connections. So a lot of this, like a lot of that intensity, in order for that to happen, for those rendezvous, for that physical union to happen, this stuff needs to be cleared and balanced, okay? So that's what we're working on at this full moon. I pulled out the Wisdom of the Oracle deck just because I felt really pulled to it. So let's just get a few more cards on these energies, and then we'll wrap it up. Love it. Love when we get confirmation. So what did they say? Clean it up. What have I been saying for the masculine energy? Clean it up. Clean up your energy field. That was just a big confirmation. I don't even need to explain that, right? Because that's what I was saying. There's something here that needs to be cleaned up. There's a duality that we're uniting, okay? Oh, and observer. So this is where they're saying, you know how they're saying silence and meditation is so powerful, that we need to do that in order to purify. They're also saying there's some level of just observing, just taking note of what's transpired, of lessons learned, of how things are playing out. This is also saying feminine, or the feminine aspects of yourself. This is a time to receive, to observe, to learn your lessons, to process, to breathe, to purify, and then you'll know how to take the next step from here, okay? Bottom of this deck is not for you. So this is about releasing the things that are no longer serving you during this full moon. And, you know, this feels like the karmic wrap up. This feels like the end to a certain way of doing things, or this duality that we're resolving. There's a crisis that's coming to a head. There's some relationships or situations that are tying up. And this is about taking your cue. Like, don't force things that aren't for you. Don't force it. Because there is a fortune. There is a fortune. You know, this fortune says nope, but there's a fortune that says yes. Yes, here's everything you desire. And in order to, you know, grab that better fortune and manifest what you want and create the abundance and the love and the commitment and the everything that you desire, you've got to let go of the things that haven't been working and the ways you've been doing things that haven't been working. So full moons are always a time of releasing, especially this one. And I've got retreat at the bottom of the Universal Oracle deck. So this is about having some self-love, really aligning with what you want from within, taking some time to retreat, which I do feel like everyone's going to get a little reprieve after this holiday for about 3 weeks going into January, and then you're going to be ready to go. You're going to be purified. You're going to be facing the new direction. I feel like the things that need to be tied up will get tied up. There's new solutions coming through for some of you. There's new avenues, new things that you haven't considered, new pathways, new ways of doing things or approaching things that you've been sort of stuck in a cycle with. So that's exciting. So I hope that it's helpful for you guys, and I love you. Don't forget to visit my website, donate. You can purchase my audio meditations, book sessions, and don't forget your 2020 prediction forecasts. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.